This is a training video on the GrandStream 2160 IP phone. Today I'm going to go through the keys here on the right side of the phone, as well as the multi-purpose or programmable keys, and then the soft keys under the screen. First of all, this phone is currently programmed or configured on our company account. So while we're doing the demo, we may see inbound calls coming in, we may see some calls parked. So I'm going to start with this line of keys here. The first one here is the voicemail. To retrieve any voicemails, you will use this key here. If there are any voicemails on the phone, in the upper right hand corner, this will be blinking red, indicating there's a message on the phone. So to retrieve that message, you simply press this button. After you press this button, if we've got more than one account registered, we're going to select the first one there, account 1.
Please enter your PIN.
The auto attendant will ask for the PIN, and the PIN for this one is 3054.
You have no messages. Press 2 to change folders.
This system also will send an email with that voicemail attached as a WAV file within probably 5 to 10 minutes of the call, a message being left on the phone. Okay, moving down to the next key here is a local phone book. It gives you the opportunity to program numbers in here so you can speed dial simply by keying in the name and phone number. You can save that, and then later you can go to the phone book, select that number, and then dial that number. The next button down is a call transfer button. If a call comes in and you need to transfer that call to another extension within your company, you simply press this button. Then you dial the extension you want to transfer to. If it's within your company, it may be a 3-digit extension. You can also transfer the call to an outside line by dialing that number, like 1714230847. After you dial the number, then right above this key here, it's going to say blind transfer. You simply hit that button. Then the call is transferred to the other phone. It leaves this phone. The next button down is the conference button. If a call comes in, you're speaking with someone and you want to bring a third party into the call, you simply press this button. The caller will hear the music on hold. You'll hear a dial tone. You dial the extension of the person you want to bring into the call. If it's, again, if it's within your company, it may be a 3-digit number. If it's an outside number, you can dial that number as well. When that person answers now, you're going to hit this button again, and that'll bring the third party into the call. You'll have 3 people on the phone. The next button down is a on hold button. If you have a call come in, you can put that call on hold by pressing this key. The line up here will be flashing, but only you can pick that call back up. The old analog phones with the lines, you could put this call on hold and you'd be able to pick it up on any other phone. With the IP phones, however, to do that, we go to the parking function, and I'll go through those next. Okay, so you put the call on hold, but only you can pick that call back up. The next button down is headset. If you have like a receptionist that has a headset, you can plug that into the back. There's a port on the back of the phone for that, and they can use the headset. However, these phones are Bluetooth compatible. You can pair this phone with a Bluetooth, and then if a call comes in, you simply press the button on the Bluetooth and you've got the call. The last button in this line here is a mute button or do not disturb button. When you press that button, you see do not disturb. If you're in a meeting in your office, you don't want to be disturbed by inbound calls, you simply press this button. If someone dials your extension, they're going to hear a message from the auto attendant that says this person's currently on the phone. To leave a message, do so after the tone. Also, if you're talking to someone hands-free, you can use this button to mute the call so that you can keep the call live. Press this button and you can discuss something internally. When you're ready to bring the caller back live, just press this button and you're back online. So that basically are the function of these buttons here. Now over on this side, these are programmable keys. There are many functions that can be programmed with these buttons. What I've done here is I've taken the most popular functions and programmed them for this company. First of all, I mentioned when we talked about putting a call on hold, I mentioned the park function. With the IP phones, when a call comes in and the call is meant for someone else, you simply press the park button here. What happens is that call is now parked here at this position, 701. That button will go from green to red, and it'll be red on every phone in the company that has these programmable keys. That way, once the call is parked, you can call that person by dialing their extension and telling them they have a call parked in position 1 or at extension 701. They, in turn, then can press that button and pick the call up. We've set up 3 parking spots here. That means if a call comes in and you park it, this button goes red. If another call comes in before the person picks this one up and you need to park that one, you simply hit the same park button and it will automatically go to position 2. And then, of course, position 3. You could have, on this particular setup, you could have as many as 3 calls parked at the same time. Now, once you park the call, if for some reason the person you directed the call to doesn't pick the call up, after 45 seconds, that call will ring back to the phone that parked it. That way you don't leave the person on hold or parked more than 45 seconds. If you wish to extend that period to whatever time you wish, a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, we can set that up for you. We can reprogram these keys to stay parked for as long as you like. Okay, moving down, I've taken the 3 most popular buttons for each of the people in this company and programmed them here. The first button here is a page button. By pressing this button, it goes straight to the speaker on Kevin's phone. And so you can do that hands-free. Without picking up the handset, I simply press this button. I can speak now through the speaker or the mic on this phone directly to the speaker on Kevin's phone. Neither of us have to pick up the handset to do that. That's kind of handy. If you get a call, you park it, now you can go here and hit that button and say, Kevin, you got a call parked at 701, and he can pick it up. The next button down is to send a live call directly to voicemail. And so I've got Kevin VM. So if I take the call and Kevin's not here, and I say to the caller, sorry, he's not here, would you like to go to his voicemail? And if they say yes, you simply press this button. The call goes directly to his voicemail. The next message they hear is Kevin's voice saying, I'm sorry, I'm not here, leave me a message. And then finally, the third button here for Kevin is called a BLF key, Busy Light Field. What that means is if Kevin is on the phone, this button goes from green to red. So if you take the call for Kevin and you see he's on the phone, you can tell the caller, I'm sorry, he's on the phone, would you like me to direct your call to his voicemail? And you can do so. The other thing with this key is when a call is coming in, if it's ringing Kevin's phone, it'll be blinking red, which tells you the call is coming in to Kevin. If Kevin's in a ring group with several others and the call comes in, you'll see all these blinking red. That means all those phones are ringing. And so I've done this for 4 of the individuals in our company, Kevin, Jeff, we have 2 Jeffs, and George. So that way, with this program, whoever's answering the call has the ability to park the call, to page any one of these individuals, to send the call directly to their voicemail if they're on a call or you know they're not available, or you can actually dial that person, have their phone ring simply by pressing this key as well. So this BLF key has multiple functions. These are the most popular ones that we've set up. On this particular phone, I've also got one here at the top called All Call. When we decide to have a meeting in our conference room and we need several people within the company, regardless of whether they're in the warehouse, in one of the other offices, they simply press that button. It goes to the speaker on every phone in the company. That's why we call it an all call. The person setting the meeting up can press that button saying, we're having a scheduling meeting in the conference room in 5 minutes. And it goes, like I said, to every speaker on every phone. Okay, I've completed these. There are other functions here, such as speed dial, that can be programmed. But what I'm showing you here are the ones that are most often used by various businesses. And again, these are pre-programmed for you Typically, when we get an order for a customer, we discuss the setup with them. The inbound call routing, whether they want a ring group, whether they want a greeting, what kind of programming they want done on these multi-purpose keys. We pre-program all this. When we deliver the phone to the customer, we like to set them up on a conference room table, and then we can go through the demo, the training session with that customer, and actually have them see calls come in, park calls, and if they have any questions, we can answer those at that time. Then when we're finished, we can put these phones on the desk. They can go live whenever the customer is ready. Okay, next I'm going to cover these are called soft keys under the screen. The first key here, when pressed, actually provides you with the local weather. Depending on where we're installing these phones, whatever city, we can pre-program that city's weather here. If you press the button again, you get the currency exchange server. These servers are updated frequently during the day. Press it again, it takes you back to the main screen. The next button over says History. When you press this button, you're going to see all the inbound calls that have come in, whether they left a message or not. You can check the history. If you see a caller that called in and didn't leave you a message, with the menu buttons here, you can scroll down. You can select that call. This call here, for example, came from a 650 number in San Francisco. I can then press dial. I can call that person back simply by pressing the number. Once you've finished with these, you can clear all by pressing the clear all button, and it clears all your history. The next button over is a forward all. If you want to forward all calls coming to your phone, you simply press this button. You put in the number you want your calls to be forwarded to. For example, 1714-230-8487. After you do that, up here above this key here, it'll say OK. You simply press that button. Now, any call coming to this phone will be forwarded to that number. And after you've done that, instead of saying forward all here, it's going to say cancel all. So when you come back, you want to be sure you press that button to cancel that forward. The next key over is redial. Basically, that's redialing the last number you called. Okay, now you can use this phone hands-free, which is kind of handy. If you're busy doing something, you simply press the hands-free button. You hear a dial tone, and you can dial the number. And if you're dialing a 3-digit number, let's just dial 105 here. You can see a dial above this soft key. If you wait for a short period of time, it will dial. But if you're in a hurry and you want to make sure it dials faster, just simply hit the dial key and the phone rings. You can also, of course, dial an outside number by simply dialing the number, hitting the dial key, and you can talk hands-free with that button. Okay, that pretty much covers all the basic phones here. There is one more button here. If you're dialing, another way to send a call out quickly is you can hit that button as well. It's similar to a dial button. So you have the hands-free, the dial button, and this right here is the volume for your inbound calls. You can increase the volume, decrease the volume, and also it's the volume for the actual call. Okay, that covers basically all the functions. Over here you have the line keys or equivalent line keys. We've got our first line here is the actual phone line. The second one is the paging line. When someone pages this phone, it goes to this line here, which is set to auto answer, meaning it goes straight to the speaker on the phone. So these are all the basic functions of the phone and some of the key programs for these keys here. Like I said, there are other functions that can be programmed here, but typically these are the keys that are most often used. That concludes this training video.